Cyber risk is moving on several fronts at once, from active threats to broader defensive pressure. Welcome to the Kernel Panic Briefs. Today we're covering several major cybersecurity developments that matter for defenders, security leaders, and incident response teams. Several vulnerabilities were reported as actively exploited or highly likely to draw immediate attacker interest. Our next story is 2 alleged TeamPCP hackers arrested in Australia. Authorities in Australia have arrested 2 men believed to be members of TeamPCP, a prolific cybercrime and data extortion group blamed for perpetrating the longest-running spree of software supply chain attacks ever. In a statement released today, the Australian Federal Police, AFP, said 2 men from Western Australia, aged 21 and 23, were arrested in connection with a sophisticated cybercrime syndicate that allegedly created malicious open-source software to rob thousands of global businesses. The AFP did not name the defendants, but Krebs on Security learned the 21-year-old suspect's real identity in June and has been communicating with him ever since. This story includes interviews with TeamPCP's self-described spokesperson and examines clues left behind by the TeamPCP leader that likely led to his undoing. TeamPCP vaulted onto the cybercrime scene in late 2025, embedding malicious code in hundreds of open-source software tools and extorting victims for profit. Members of the group made headlines by compromising corporate cloud environments using a self-propagating worm dubbed Shai-Hulud, which added malicious code to open-source programs maintained by developers whose credentials at public code repositories like GitHub or NPM were phished or stolen. Writing for Wired, journalist Andy Greenberg described TeamPCP's core tactic as a kind of cyclical exploitation of software developers. The hackers gain access to a network where an open "why this matters" confirmed exposure or compromise changes risk calculations for affected organizations, customers, and downstream partners. For defenders, the immediate takeaway is to validate exposure, review detections, and confirm that response playbooks still match the current threat picture. Our next story is PaperCut warns of NGMF flaw exploited in zero-day attacks. This is the latest development in an ongoing issue we have been tracking. PaperCut is warning that hackers are actively exploiting a vulnerability in all versions of its PaperCut NG and PaperCut MF print management software in zero-day attacks. Why this matters: active exploitation raises the chance of immediate real-world impact and shortens response time. For defenders, the immediate takeaway is to validate exposure, review detections, and confirm that response playbooks still match the current threat picture. Our next story is Next.js patches critical AVIF and Windows flaws, enabling unauthenticated RCE. Credit: Hacktron. Vercel has released security patches for 2 critical severity vulnerabilities in the Next.js web framework, both of which allow unauthenticated remote code execution, one exploitable via specially crafted AVIF image files, and the other through a path traversal flaw affecting servers that use a Windows file system. The Windows path traversal, tracked as CVE 2026-75604. Why this matters: the story includes a specific vulnerability and remediation signal, which makes it directly actionable for defenders. For defenders, the immediate takeaway is to validate exposure, review detections, and confirm that response playbooks still match the current threat picture. Our next story is ThreatsDay, 296K IoT botnet, 100+ water systems targeted, SharePoint RCE chain, plus 27 news stories. This is the latest development in an ongoing issue we have been tracking. A fake login page, a fake security scan, a fake productivity app. Apparently, pretending to be useful is still one of the easier ways into a machine. The rest of the week gets stranger. Botnets borrowing AI, command traffic hiding in public infrastructure, malicious tools waiting before showing their real behavior, exposed systems getting scanned, and exploit windows shrinking again. Different. Why this matters: the story signals a meaningful cybersecurity development that may affect defender priorities, exposure, or monitoring. For defenders, the immediate takeaway is to validate exposure, review detections, and confirm that response playbooks still match the current threat picture. Our next story is Australia arrests alleged TeamPCP hackers behind supply chain attacks. Australian authorities have arrested and charged 2 young men accused of being part of the TeamPCP hacking group linked to a string of far-reaching developer supply chain attacks. Why this matters: the story signals a meaningful cybersecurity development that may affect defender priorities, exposure, or monitoring. For defenders, the immediate takeaway is to validate exposure, review detections, and confirm that response playbooks still match the current threat picture. That is your kernel panic brief. If you rely on this roundup, follow the channel for the next daily cybersecurity briefing.